For this lesson, I created a Google site about ancient civilizations, did an interactive museum project. So I teach middle school. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science and social studies at a local K-8 school in my area. And so I wanted to do something that I could possibly implement this year. Don't know if I'm going to have time to do it this year, but I would love to be able to do this with my students. So for this project that I created, I would plan on doing this as a culminating project at the end of like the year, where they will be creating an ancient civilizations interactive museum that they'll be using several digital platforms, including Google Sites, Zoom, Canva, Google Docs, and Google Forms. And it'll be a month-long project, so they'll have things to do each week. But they will pick one of the ancient civilizations listed on the screen that we have learned about by the end of the 6th grade year. And they will have a different component each week that they will need to complete. I do have a Zoom link set up, so in my digital class that we would do, I would say we would meet Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so Monday and Fridays kind of on their own sort of thing. I just pretend that we're going to meet at 10 a.m. to go over each component of the project, and that they will have time to work with their groups. I do have the learning objective and the social studies standards that it meets. And then I also have the weekly project components. So each week they'll be given a different component to complete. Now, for this purpose, I have everything already active. But if I were to do this in a regular like online class, I would make the weeks be active when they needed them. Like, I wouldn't give them everything at once. So the first week they will do a kickoff and research. So I'll put what to do for this week up at the top. They will have a project introduction session on Zoom. They can use the link on the homepage. They're going to meet Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week, whichever week we do this, at 10 a.m. They will also pick their teams with my guidance and choose a civilization. And then their team will research. We use the research materials below to determine what artifacts that they're going to include in their museum. So the first thing that they're going to do on that Tuesday is they're going to complete this ancient civilization group interest form. Okay, so it gives me their name, tells me which civilization they prefer, and then names of 1 to 2 people in the class that they would like to work with. And I wanted to reiterate that just because they add their names does not mean that they will be guaranteed they'll be assigned to their group. Anything they want me to know, they can put here who they don't want to be with, things like that. And then during Wednesday's class, I will have them all together on this Fig Jam board, which I've never used Fig Jam. This is something that's new to me. Let's see if I can get this brought up. Hold on, let me bring this up here. But it has their different civilizations, and it'll have their names listed under it so they can see what they want to do. And so they'll be able to view their group civilization and assignments. And in the Zoom, I would put them into breakout rooms based on the groups and to begin the research on the civilizations. Then there's a rubric. We'll look at the research resources here in a minute. Week 2, they will meet at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, but Wednesday and Thursday are optional. So they're still required to do the task, but the team will begin to draft their interactive museum tour in Google Docs. They will use Canvas to create visuals for their interactive museum tour, and they'll begin to build their exhibits using Google Sites. So Tuesday, they will log into Zoom. They're going to create a collaborative Google Doc outlining the interactive museum tour. I've given them an example here. And then Wednesday, they're going to use Canva to create those visuals. I do have a link to Canva here for them. Thursday, their team will start to use Google Sites to begin putting their interactive tour together. I did say that if the team would like to use a different platform, that they can just check in with me to make sure it's a good fit for the project. And then there's a link here on a tutorial to use Google Sites. Then for week 3, they're actually going to present their museum to the class on Zoom. They'll have Tuesday to put their final touches on their tours and their presentations. So Tuesday, the Zoom is optional. Wednesday and Thursday are required Zooms. They have to be present for those. Tuesday, again, they're going to polish everything up, make sure they've checked all the boxes, go back and look at the rubric, make sure everything is good. Wednesday and Thursday, they're going to present their interactive museum tour to the class on Zoom. This form, they're all going to use this form to provide feedback to each of the groups. So they're kind of grading the groups. So their grade will reflect both their completion of the feedback for all groups and the feedback that their own group receives. All responses will be shared anonymously with the presenting group to help them grow and improve. Week 4, reflection and wrap up. So on Zoom meetings only on Tuesday of this week. I'll be sending emails to schedule a time to meet with each group on that Tuesday. And then they're going to have a reflective journal entry due by Thursday. And then I'll give them final peer review and teacher feedback probably within that Zoom meeting. But their reflective journal entry, they can pick one of these to do. If I had to choose one of the ancient civilizations to live in, I would choose blank because then they have to be able to give me at least 5 to 6 complete sentences. If I had to choose another exhibit on a different civilization to create, I would choose blank because of blah, 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 whatever they want to say. So they do have research resources. And so based on these ancient civilizations, okay, they can explore the resources. They'll find videos, readings, worksheets we've used in class, plus some extra websites to dig deeper and expand their research. So when they click on this, there's going to be a map. Again, we've done a lot of this already in class. One of the things I also want to reiterate to the kids is that the research are here to help you begin your research and start planning. They are welcome to explore additional resources, that these are just starting points. So this is like the presentation that we used in class. There's all sorts of different videos and worksheets that we've used, a textbook sheet here, and then some useful links. So basically all of the civilizations look the same. Okay, they have the map. Okay, they've got a heading up here with one of the pieces of architecture from that place. But again, it has all the information that they need, along with some useful links. Okay, so that was China. Here's Egypt. Let me show you this. Again, map with, let it load. It's being slow. With information that we've done in class and some other useful links. Egypt, Greece is here. So again, a map, because we did lots of things with maps this year in class. We talked about government in Greece and some more useful links. And then ancient Rome, again, they all pretty much look the same, but I just want to show them to make sure that everything is there and it looks good, and that you can see that everything is where it needs to be. Here comes Roman Republic, the fall of the Roman Empire, and some other useful links that they can use. Because I always like to give my students something as a jumping off point, especially because they're middle school and they, research things that they don't know how to research. So I have to help guide them the right way. So talking about Mesoamerica civilizations, the Aztecs, Incans, and Mayans, with some information there, and again, the useful links. So that is my presentation on the applications of Telecom assignment, but it's the Ancient Civilizations Interactive Museum Project.